Hello once again, welcome back. I'm Mike, and today we're going to have a better look at the Dygma Raise keyboard. I reviewed this ergonomic split keyboard 10 months ago, recently ordered a second one, and that's what we are having a look at once again today. What improved? How's the software state after almost a year, and how do I feel about it after using it all this time? One important thing to note is that this video is not exactly a review, but more of an extended overview of it after long-term usage. If you didn't check out the review video, definitely check it out. The link is in the description below. It seems that quite a bit improved since the first batch, but to sum it up, the cables seem to be better quality and to wiggle less than the first ones. They are, however, still not long enough for me. The palm pads add an absolutely huge improvement. They no longer feel squishy, and at the same time, they just feel more comfortable on the wrist. It slides better without causing unnecessary friction. They are easier to clean, and the finishing looks overall way better. The travel case was also improved. Looks more sturdy, and the material is definitely of better quality. It seems that this time they also sent a few more goodies like some O-rings and extra rubber legs. I'm not entirely sure if the LED supplier changed, but the new keyboard seems more color accurate than the first one, or it could just be the hype of getting another one, who knows. Moving on, my first keyboard went through literal hell. I used it to the extreme, quite often for more than 12 hours a day, and it was moved twice every single week for the last 10 months until the second one arrived at work. Let's talk comfort, since it's a major key point of this keyboard. It has been quite a while since I used any other keyboard. I really got used to the Dygma Raise, and the rare times that I have to sit at a computer with a standard keyboard, I definitely notice how uncomfortable it gets after a few minutes. No matter how much time I'm typing or even playing, due to the way my hands and wrists are placed, I feel absolutely no fatigue or pain after any intensive work or gaming session. If you have carpal tunnel syndrome, I highly recommend you to get an ergonomical keyboard. Why, you ask? Having one that has a natural wrist angle, an easy way to switch keys by means of full key customization, making you have to move your hands less, and even gives you the possibility of tenting, will be the perfect solution, especially if you have to make a living with your hands. This also leads me to the missing point on my first review, which was the missing tenting solution. While I won't be getting the kit, as I use a trackball in the middle of the keyboard, and it would be inconvenient for me, the Dygma team has been posting regular updates on their blog, and it seems they are making really good progress on the matter. Regarding the switches, the ones I'm using are the Kale Gold switches. Unfortunately, they are no longer available for the keyboard, but you still get to decide between the Kale Speed Copper, Silver and Bronze, or the Sherry MX Brown, Red and Blue. Since you can easily remove the switches individually, you always have the possibility of changing them to something you prefer. One thing that may matter if you're thinking about ordering it is that only the UK and US keys are double shot PBT, while the other languages use ABS laser etched keycaps. I have had absolutely no issues with the keys except for having to loop the enter key on my first keyboard. The only minor complaint I've seen regarding the keycaps at all is that on the PBT keycaps on the US and UK keyboard layouts, the E letter doesn't light up evenly. This is hard to avoid because of the manufacturing process, but it could be simply fixed by using the symbol instead. Removing the enter and caps writing should be, at least in my opinion, more aesthetically pleasing. One very interesting thing that improved is that the Dygma team is offering a personalized layout service, which means that when you buy the keyboard, they will help you get the best out of it by helping you with the first personalized layers. Speaking of layers, let's go ahead and jump to the software and firmware, which improved quite a bit since the first versions. One thing is for sure, I don't think I could easily go back to a keyboard without the extra 7 keys on my thumbs. It allows a greatly improved workflow and super easy shortcuts. After you get used to it, you definitely don't want to go back. I will now quickly give you a tour of my first 2 layers. I'm just gonna open the software really quick, connect to my keyboard, and here we are. This is the general keyboard layout that I use at home and at work. As you can see on this keyboard, instead of having a huge spacebar, you have instead 7 extra keys, not including the space of course. This opens up a lot of options, and having the possibility of using your thumb to press 4 keys instead of one single key is a huge help. Since, let's say, if you're programming and use backspace and enter a lot, it's much easier to press than to go to the other end of the keyboard, or you could even just set them as copy and paste. On the first layer I have a pretty standard keyboard, except for the media mute, which is quite useful when someone's trying to talk and your music is just too loud or you have headphones. On the second layer, which is easily accessible by any of those keys right here, the yellow ones, then I have a full numeric pad, arrow keys on both sides, the mouse click, and the Y on the Z location. That's because you want to undo and redo easily, and going between Z and the Y on the other side is always a pain in the fingers. You can also set a different color for the neuron, or on the back side of the keyboard so it reflects, let's say, on the wall, and you know exactly which layer you are in. On the latest available beta version, the macros are finally in. There are still some things that need to be polished, and the option to set mouse X and Y position are still missing, but from what I have tested, everything else seems to work seamless. Some missing improvements are the ability of naming layers and a more intuitive UI. As the software development is still ongoing, we can expect some improvements in the future. I will leave a link to the latest beta on the video description below. Price-wise, this is for sure not inexpensive. Currently priced at 299 bucks or around 250 euros, it is not the most affordable ergonomical keyboard. It is, however, 100% worth it. Quality and feature-wise, it is still for me the best anyone could be typing in. Finally, do I still recommend it? Hell yes. The improvements on the second batch are the cherry on top of the cake, and I couldn't be more satisfied. This concludes our quick look to the improved version of the Dygma raised keyboard. Thanks for watching, and see you on another video.